Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this closing keynote with Christopher Patnoe. So Christopher is a head of accessibility and disability inclusion for EMEA at Google. He leads Google efforts around the accessibility of products, people, both Googlers and end users, and partnerships. He has more than 25 years experience in tech, working at companies like Apple, Sony Ericsson, Disney, where he builds hardware, software, and services. His current passion is accessibility at the intersection of immersive technologies like AR and VR and consumer hardware. He's a chair of the Immersive Captions Community Group with the W3C, and he's a co-chair of the XR Association Accessibility Working Group. He also sits on the Board of Trustees for the American Foundation for the Blind and for the GAAD Foundation. And finally, Christopher has a degree in music from UC Berkeley. Welcome, Christopher.
Thank you, Flo. It's such a pleasure to be here. Before I start, I just wanted to give a brief description of myself. I'm a white male with the pronouns of he and him. I've got gray hair, black glasses, black headphones, a green jumper, and I'm sitting in my home office here in London. Let's get started. So why is inclusion important? Why would we do this? Well, 99% of our DNA, that which makes us, is common. So if we are far more common than different, unfortunately, those differences tend to be exaggerated or simply ignored. But I want to ask you, if we are more than 99% similar, don't we really have an obligation to be there for each other? For me, my work and the people that I work with, our work in accessibility and inclusion are important ways of doing this, being there for each other, making sure that technology is there for all of us. Why do we do this? Well, simply because disability affects everyone. Whether you're part of the 1 billion plus people who are identified with disabilities, technologies like assistive technology that I'll be sharing with today can be life-changing. There's also, if you take the circle out a little farther, there's those people who are not identified with a disability. These are people who have a disability, but don't necessarily identify with the community. Like myself, I didn't realize I had dyslexia until I did work here and realized those things that I just wasn't good at actually had their roots in terms of a disability. You take it one step farther and you have the friends and allies of the people with disabilities. They'll want to support the people with disabilities, and they are directly impacted as well. And finally, everybody, the 7.7 billion of us that are here, we will all experience temporary disabilities like a broken arm or a situational disability. Say you're walking home with a child in your arm, you're in reality one-armed because you're not going to drop your child. Or there are also age-related disabilities like your hearing or sight. So a truly helpful product, a product that is well-designed, is helpful for everyone. Quick story on me and how I got here to where I am. So as Flo mentioned, I spent some time at Apple, where I worked on hardware and software, a couple of years at Sony making phones, and even a year at Disney making games. I've been here at Google now for almost 10 years, but it was here where I first learned about disability and accessibility. I was the lead technical program manager for Google Play Music, and a test engineer came into my meeting. She turned on voiceover, and I heard button, 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 button. I asked, what's that? And she said, this is Google Play Music for someone who's blind. I said, that's stupid. How do they use it? She said, well, that's why I'm here. This was my introduction into accessibility. 18 years into my career, and I'd never heard of accessibility. I didn't even think about it. Well, within a few months, I decided to make it a Google 20%. I took it on, and it's taken me to where I am now today here in London. There's one thing I wanted to say before we get started, is that people may have impairments, but there's no disability until someone designs something that isn't accessible. For example, if you have two people who are deaf signing to each other, there's no problem in communication. The moment it becomes a disability is when they open up YouTube or some other, actually they can't do YouTube because YouTube has captions, some application that doesn't provide captions. And now they can't take part in the experience. That's when it becomes a disability. It's not the impairment, it's the society around. And the work we do at accessibility is to really to provide that bridge between impairment and disability. Okay, there are three key things I think about when it comes to building inclusively. The first is leverage your strengths. Do something you're good at. If you're a musician, think about a jazz musician who knows how to improvise really, really well. You want to be an expert, or you want to become an expert in the field of this, because you're going to have to push the edges of technology and of your own skills to be able to meet the needs of these people, of the people with disabilities. The second is nothing about us without us. What's important here is that you include people with disabilities in the work that you're doing. You want to test with them, or better, you want to co-design with them. The reason for this is empathy can get you only so far. You can intuit that I think there's going to be a problem over here, but you'll never know what the problem really is, nor will you understand what the solutions are. By working with people in the community, by working with people who is blind or who are deaf, you will find what the problem is, and they will help you identify what the solution can be. And finally, start with one. It could be overwhelming if you think I have to solve everything for everybody, but you don't. The most important thing is that you get started. Start with one person's problem, fix it, then broaden your solution and go bigger. And you'll eventually create a solution that really meets the needs of if not everybody, so many people that it's absolutely worth doing. The reason I say not just anyone is because people are complex, and you want to make sure you are providing options, because what helps one person may not help another. So there's no perfect solution, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't get started. So start with one. Now, I want to talk about an innovation from Google. You'll have heard of this, or you may have heard of this. It's live transcribe and sound notifications. This is our most popular piece of assistive technology. What live transcribe and sound notifications do is it provides real-time transcription in over 80 different languages. And what's really interesting is because we want to foster communication. If you are nonverbal or you choose not to speak, we provide an option where you can type your words back, so you can have a real conversation with someone. Another important thing is contextual awareness. So we have the feature of sound notifications, where if, for example, if someone says your name, we can flash the light on your phone or give you an alert on your watch. Or if a sound event has triggered, like a baby crying or a car alarm or a house alarm, we can let you know these things as well. Providing this contextual information is really important for the integration of people into the world around them. Now, live transcribe is started by these two people, Dmitry Konevsky on the left and Chet Nagy on the right, and I'll let them share a little bit first.
I'm set. Yeah. Ready?
I completely lost hearing when I was over a year old. Technology provides tremendous opportunities to help people with disabilities. I'm a research scientist at Google, and I'm developing speech recognition in technology. Speech recognition accuracy finally became so good that I could fulfill my dream for whole life, to use speech recognition to communicate with people. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm doing good. What can I get you today?
I would like tea. Live Transcribe is an application that runs in Android. It provides transcription of speech for deaf and hard of hearing in real time.
Dimitri worked with the speech team to develop that technology, and Google has made strides in this in the past couple of years, but the app itself is what I've been working on. I'm not an Android engineer. I saw an opportunity for something useful and dug into that and kind of evolved naturally.
Did I already mention?
So that's Live Transcribe, a powerful application designed to solve one person's problem by using what Google is good at and involving the community. Now we thought, that's really cool. What else can we do with this? So we took this caption technology and shrunk it into a local model. So what this means now for English, where there were plans for other languages in the future, in English, you can create local captions for almost any audio stream that comes onto your device. So if you're viewing something on a social network that doesn't have captions, we can provide it for you. Or if someone sends you a voice memo, we can provide a context for you and the captions for you there. Or if someone sends you a video of something that they took themselves, you get this too. And this is done locally, so there's no data charges and it's private. This is a great step forward. And then we thought, well, what other things happen on the phone that's important, that could be meaningful? And I want to show you this video. And this will be the last video that I share.
I hesitated for a few seconds, and I realized the enormity of it, what it really meant. I'm 55 years old, and for the first time, I was able to call my son.
This is Matthew. He likes to swim in cold water.
After a swim, you feel alive.
Like really, really cold water.
I also swam across the English Channel.
But that's another story. Matthew is deaf.
People think if I got a hearing aid on, I could hear everything, and that's not true. I lip read most of the time. I have two boys, and they're both very important part of my life.
This is Matthew's youngest son.
Hi, I'm Harry.
He lives in Hong Kong and plays rugby.
I always want to keep in touch with him. Before, I need to communicate with him through Zoom or WhatsApp. I would try and lip read him, but it's really hard because it's not 3D, it's a flat screen. When I got the Google Picture phone, because the live capture feature, Harry was the first person I phoned. It was incredible. And we were talking for about half an hour. All of a sudden, he said,
"Dad, do you realise this is the first time we've talked on the phone?"
I was speechless for 3-4 seconds, and it realised what it really meant. I'm 55 years old, and for the first time in my life, I was able to call my son.
That's powerful. But this is the kind of impact that you can have when you think about the needs of people with disabilities, you work with people with disabilities, and you create solutions that can just truly change people's lives. This is what brings me here. This is what gets me to get up every morning and go into work day after day. So I'd like to just quickly recap the things that are most important, the things I'd like for you to take away. First is leverage your strengths. Do what you're good at. 2, nothing about us without us. Involve the community with you in the work that you're doing. 3, start with one. Focus on one person's problem first, and you can expand it to things that are unrecognizable when you started. But most importantly, just get started. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Christopher. That was a very inspiring talk. I feel like too often we take accessibility as an afterthought when it should actually be by design from the beginning, right? So this is definitely something that we'll be sharing more with our developer communities next year, because I think this is essential for great software development in general. So thank you so much for that.
I look forward to doing this with you. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, let me hand it over to my colleague Agnedi, who is a regional lead for Google developer communities in Africa, and who will close our event today. Thank you. Agnedi, have we lost you? You are muted. This is the fun of the live.
I knew it was going to happen at some time today. So thanks, everyone. It has been an amazing evening out here in Nigeria, connecting to the DevFest Inspire. I have absolutely been inspired. Let me add my screen. So I'm having a bit of challenge with my presentation right now. Okay, it's up there. Thank you. So first of all, I want to say a big and a huge thank you to all our speakers. We've had amazing speakers from Europe, from Africa, from within Google, and from outside of Google. And it's been just a blessing to see how much work has gone into today and how this has eventually been delivered for every single one of us. So as I go on to say thank you to our speakers, there are a few things I would like to share with everyone. All right, so here we go. So my slides are coming out a little bit slower, so I'm not very sure you can see. But interestingly, we have a platform that showcases the projects and articles that Google developers have built with Google technologies. These are developers all over the world. So as you've seen, projects and instances of how Google technology is being used, with AI, we've heard from UC all the way down to Chris's presentation, all about, being more accessible, building products that are accessible to everyone. It has been an amazing opportunity to see what you can do with the power of technology. So we'd like to hear from you. We'd like you to see what other people are creating, not just today's speakers. So I urge you to check out the Dev Library. You can find that at bit.ly/Dev Library. It is an amazing project that you can log on to. You're allowed to submit your own content, put it out there, share with a lot of people, get comments. These are content, articles, and publications put together by by community developers like you, and all this is being made available to developers all over the world. So whether you have a use case that is very specific to you or a use case that is generally available for the whole world, then you can go ahead and submit your projects, learn from others, and also build stuff on top of what other people have built. In addition, I would also want to urge everyone to submit feedback. So we have a feedback form out there. There's a very simple URL that you can use to remember what this feedback form is all about. It's bit.ly devfest-inspire feedback. I want to share a bit of a personal story. So this year, it's been a very difficult year all over the world, more so in Africa and also in different parts of the world. But most importantly, one thing we looked forward to was re-energizing the community, re-energizing the spirit, and that's what we look forward to at DevFest. In Africa, in Nigeria, and particularly in the city where I belong, in Lagos, it has been an absolute pleasure having the opportunity to come together and connect once again as developers. We know this is not what is happening everywhere in the world, and it may take time. Sometimes it may look like things are getting worse. Sometimes it may look like there's a new variant or a new sort of, addition to the whole issue. But we encourage all our developers to stay inspired, which is one of the reasons why we put this virtual event together, to continue to collaborate. The pandemic, the lockdowns, the switch to virtual events has also provided us opportunities to access speakers and attendees from entirely all over the globe. So it's not just what has gone wrong, but it's also what has gone right and what you can make from it. I take away a few things from Chris. which was leverage your strengths. There is no us without all of us. And finally, start with one. I think that has been the most significant thing I have remembered and I have tried to imbibe for this year. Get started, start with what you have, start with the resources we've been able to provide for you, and start from exactly where you are. Thank you so much for attending DevFest Inspire. Please share your experience and takeaways on Twitter and other social media platforms with the hashtag DevFestInspire. From me in Lagos, Nigeria, and on behalf of my teammates all around the world, it is once again, thank you and stay inspired. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Anyedi.
Thank you.